Gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
Gordon cuts through. They go to Barrett. He'll turn and shoot for the win.
Bingo!
All right. Welcome to the NBA Max podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll. Smaller panel today. We'll be getting more guys on eventually. 2 days in a row, actually. I think it's the first time ever I'm doing back-to-back single podcasts, or at least for the time being. Yesterday, I did my All-American Hoops podcast by myself that ran for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'll talk about that pod a little bit. I'm probably going to cover a little bit of what I talked about yesterday. And today, NBA Max doing it for a little bit. Got myself and Ori B will be joining me shortly, probably about 20 to 30 minutes. And after the hour, Tony, aka Sports Fluent, the producer of this channel and main co-host of the show, will be joining us after the hour. So, all right, yeah. So, the NBA season is right around the corner, and right when we get into the dog days is when they decide, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw out a list of the 100 best players currently in the NBA, and I'm in the minority here. I feel like that the list isn't always as terrible as people say it is. Like, there's obviously going to be some bad things about it because there always is. But that being said, they make sure to make the list good enough to where they can call themselves somewhat credible, but they just put some of the most absurd placements on their list to make it just for clicks. So like they're going to include the bad parts. Usually they're going to include the bad parts. They're going to make them very bad, but then make everything else pretty solid. So I've feeling that both Fluent and Ori are going to disagree with me on that, but that's okay. But before I dive into that, I'm just going to talk about a couple things about what was addressed yesterday in the past couple of days in the news, just because I feel like if I talk about the top 100 players in the NBA for the entire hour, that might be a little tough. But just shortly, first of all, thoughts and prayers out to Fred VanVleet. He's definitely I feel like he's one of the more players with like a higher approval rating in the league. Like I feel like he doesn't really get a lot of hate, doesn't really get people really don't hate him that much. But that being said, he doesn't get a ton of love either. He's just like he was an all-star 1 year NBA champion. So yeah, just great guy, great role player on certain teams. He was, as I mentioned, he was an all-star, very important piece to the Raptors championship in 2019, and then being a key contributor to the second seeded Raptors in 2020 as well. So he's had a very interesting career, and kind of like it was kind of like tough for his first like year or two in Houston, but last year he had a great season and was like a main reason why the Rockets ended up being a top 2 seed. So, and he was going to be a main reason why the Rockets would have actually made a playoff run this year. And yeah, unfortunately he tore his ACL, so that's out of the picture now. I'm going to talk very briefly about what's ahead for them, because I talked about it yesterday. You can go watch it. It was only a couple episodes before if you look at this channel. They're in a very interesting spot now, because I was listening to the Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe podcast, because you can easily say that there's a couple of silver linings for you to figure out, but a lot of those things were going to happen anyway. Like as much as you can say, oh, Reed Shepherd and Amin Thompson, they can just both run the offense now, like almost like baptism by fire, just making sure that that they get their reps in and everything. That was going to happen anyway, just to a lesser extent. Like I know they're going to give you more minutes, so like they're going to have more reps. But is that really what you want? Like I don't really watch a ton of Reed Shepherd before he got drafted. But that being said, if they weren't going to play him at all last year, like I understand they were a 2 seed, but I just don't know either what his floor is, and I don't know what his ceiling is. I haven't watched him play, so like go ahead and clip this in a few months from now. But like I'm very sure that he's not going to help a team win a championship. Like he's not going to be like a needle mover if they give him more minutes, because he's 21, if not younger. He might be 20, honestly, and he's just not. I feel like he's just not going to be someone who can replace the void like VanVleet, especially because VanVleet is like a leader in the locker room too. So I just really, I'm not saying that I don't believe in Reed Shepherd in the long run, but he's not going to be a guy who can help a team raise their ceiling for like a top 2 seed. And Amin Thompson, he could absolutely just, he's like, shout out to Chilltown. He's Fluent's co-host for Fluent and Chill. They go on Tuesdays. That's going to be a little tougher for Thompson because he was the 2 guard last year for a good amount of season. He was a 3, then he was a 3. He was likely going to be the 2 guard this year with the signing of Kevin Durant and Dorian Finney-Smith. But he might have to run the offense a lot this year. He doesn't really have the best jump shot really, so it almost fits better that he's going to be running the offense as far as he goes for pushing the pace and like pushing the pace, but also slowing the game down when needed. Which again, like he wouldn't be nearly as good as Van Vliet at that. So that's the unfortunate thing. But it's an interesting spot for sure. Like I for one, just don't know what to look for because like yeah, in a way it makes the Rockets more interesting because like Thompson and Shepard are going to be the two main guys running the offense, and Aaron Holiday in the minutes where both of those guys aren't good to run. So I don't know who necessarily the X factor of the team is. Obviously, Kevin Durant's going to have to be the best player, and Sengun and Thompson are going to have to be the second and third. But out of those guys, I don't know which one is going to be the guy to make them better because based on what their team is now, they're not beating OKC, and I highly doubt they're beating Denver. All that being said, they were again. I mentioned they were the 2 seed last year, but they were only I think there were only 2 games ahead of the 3, 4, 5, ahead of the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Nuggets, and then only 3 games ahead of the 6th and 7th seed. I think that's the Timberwolves and 7th seed. And the Warriors. So, and they already lost to the Warriors last year. So obviously, trading for Kevin Durant, I do think puts them ahead of Golden State. But I think there's a world now where the Rockets don't get past the first round because of something like this, which like I know sounds silly that you're Fred VanVleet away from championship versus first round exit, but the fact of the matter is that VanVleet both raised the team ceilings and he raised floors as well. So that's just the reality of the situation, unfortunately. But either way, Rockets are still going to be a fun team to watch. Obviously, Amin Thompson is young. Kevin Durant, a new team, is awesome. Kevin Durant makes every team he plays on better, despite what people say. He makes the team better based on playing on the floor. It's really only when he doesn't play is when he hurts the team a lot. So hopefully, I'm hoping the KD stays healthy now that VanVleet isn't able to stay healthy. So, but that being said, he unfortunately does have to play for like the first half of the season more than he would have liked. So that's the unfortunate part of it. But on brighter news, talking about another injury, Jason Tatum actually, like I talked about much more about the Rockets and everything in a much longer version of my podcast yesterday, but I didn't want to do that all over again. But on brighter news, Jason Tatum of this obviously of the Celtics, as everyone knows, on May 12th, he tore his Achilles in a game against the Knicks. And, torn Achilles usually means that you're out for pretty much at least a year. So tearing your Achilles in the end of a season is like an absolute disaster because not only was Tatum not able to compete, like not able to like try to come back down 3-1 or even win that game. I think that was pretty unlikely. But I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but like so like not only was Tatum was he going to struggle with coming back next season, but it's looking like right now that he is way ahead of schedule. Jason Tatum is absolutely the guy who like not many people are surprised. I kind of talked about this a few months ago about how he should be the face of the league, and part of the talk about it was that he plays every game. He doesn't really get injured. So, which of course, man, a few months later he ends up suffering the worst injury possible. But that was nothing he could really do to like it wasn't his fault. It's like it wasn't like his like lack of his lack of athleticism and everything there. So I'm very happy with hearing a lot of the things that they were saying about Tatum. So I've written down right here. So the doctor said he doesn't think he's going to have any long-term effects for his lower body strength. What? That's basically unheard of. And I forgot the guy's name. I think Dr. John, I think his name is. Maybe I could be totally making that up. But usually 20 Achilles means that you're not only are you going to be out for all of next year, you're also going to never be the same player again. I don't know, like there's obviously Kobe tore his Achilles and was never the same. There's a couple other players. The Kevin Durant was really one of the only players who tore his Achilles and looks like he didn't lose a step. Like obviously KD is still a little more injury prone now, so that's still a little concern. But I shouldn't say not at all because I still am a little bit, but I'm not that concerned about Jason Tatum not being the same player again. Like part of what made him so great was his defense. So maybe that's something that might be a struggle, is that he's gonna have to become a little more of like an offense first player and then take some possessions off on defense. But everything that I'm hearing, everything that he said yesterday on First Take and on NBA Today, and the article and on the Today Show, he was on something else. I forgot the show's name on CBS, and then also the article written about him on People Magazine. Words can't describe how happy I am about that. And I don't know if I'm saying that he's not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna say that he's not gonna. I don't know if he's just saying this just to get people happy or get people to stoked about something. But don't be surprised if he comes out here. If he comes out like in like early March, because he said he's going to come back to this to like where the Celtics are when they're playing at home. I feel like before March is a little too optimistic, but Tatum is doing everything he can to come back. He's said that he's going to rehab 6 days a week, and he's not doing it just for him to count everything out. He's doing everything that he can, and I'm not surprised at all. Jason Tatum, the gym rat, the guy who just all he does is play basketball and play with the Sun. So I'm sure he's really looking forward to hanging out with the Sun more for the beginning, but doesn't really like to do anything else. He just likes to play basketball, like do the occasional commercial for his job for extra money, but the guy, all he cares about is basketball. So I'm not surprised at all that he's doing everything in his power to make sure this is great. And like I said, and if he turns out to be better than, like, even as good as he once was, shout out to that doctor. I feel like I should know his name at the top of my head, but good for him. All right, so that took up 12 minutes. So yeah, like usually like having a panelist with me, whether it's be on my show when I have my brothers on, or whether it be on this show when I have Tony, Ori, or Jalen on. But yeah, we burned off 12 minutes, so that's good. But now let's dive into the show, which is focusing on the top 100 players of the 2025-26 season. So let me pull up the article and maybe I can share my screen just so they can. I don't know if they explained the criteria in the beginning. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now, actually. So here it says. Wait, no, perfect. Okay. So here it says NBA rank is back and ready to count down the best players in the league for the 25-26 season. Which players make the top 100 this year and who missed the mark? From Six Man of the Year candidates like Nas Reed and Alex Caruso to surprising top 4 players across the league have proved to our voters that they deserve a spot on the list on the list of the best players entering next season. To get the final NBA rank prediction, we asked our expert panel to vote on player versus player matchups from more than 20,000 possible pairings and choose based on which player will be better in 25-26. So it's very important, is that this is based on who they think will be better in 25-26, because people say like, oh, Drew Holiday should be higher. Maybe, but they're projecting for like a slight decline because he declined a little bit last year. So that's one thing. So that's one thing very important, is that like this is a projective list, not based on who was better last year. Our countdown tips off with our ranking of players, numbers 100 to 51, which includes some surprise risers and followers from last year's rank and a few reigning champions. The rollout continues Wednesday. So yeah, this was yesterday. Wednesday, 50 through 11. That was today, and tomorrow is the top 10. So if we have a podcast tomorrow for All Mega Hoops, maybe I'll do that. But notes, ESPN. This part's very important right here, actually. So notes, ESPN's NBA rank panel, made up more than 150 reporters, editors, producers, and analysts, was asked to rank players based on their predicted contributions, quality, and quantity for the 25-26 season only. Due to their long-term injuries, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, DeJounte Murray, and Fred VanVleet are not part of this year's season's rankings. Signature stats provided by ESPN Research. So, so like that's the criteria. Let me just remove this real quick. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's one thing that I do. I make a top 100 list every year. I have it with me. I don't know if I'm going to share the full thing. I'm not going to share the full thing yet, but I'm just going to give my thoughts on certain on certain players and where they rank and everything like that. So, but just very, very important as I mentioned, this is a projective list for the 2025-26 season. I know people get mad when like the old guys slip or when the new guys climb up. They're saying like, "Oh, it's too early." Maybe too early for you, but we're projecting that they're going to be better for next season. So, yes, some of them end up being very over exaggerated for clicks, but at the end of the day, these things are hard to predict. So, they didn't really explain much of the criteria though, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just I kind of stopped sharing before I went down there, but they didn't. So I'll explain my criteria. Like, here's what I'd rather have the panel decide. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So here is basically my thing is very simple. If I'm building my team to win a championship, who do I want on my team? So obviously, for my the question is the first question is, can you be the best player on a championship team? Can you be the guy that comes in and out that you start off the regular? By the way, this is from the start of the start of training camp all the way to the postseason. So it's not even just like the start of a playoff run because the list will be different there. But starting from training camp or from the regular season, I guess, because training camp we don't really see, but starting from the regular season all the way to the playoffs, who do I want leading my units? Can my guy be the best player and lead us to the promised land? Can he be the guy to we go through the regular season, lots of stuff hits the ceiling. Can we rely on him to eventually brush all that off, plow through, and at the end of the day, be the best, take us to the promised land and everything there? If your answer to that question is yes, then we decide, okay, so there's probably about like 7 or 8 players in the league, in my opinion, maybe a little more. Maybe we can push it like to like 10 or 12. Maybe like let's say 10 or 12 just to be generous. So out of those 12 players, okay. So which of these 12 players do we think can win a championship with the least amount of health? Who can be the best player on the championship team? On certain nights, they're not going to have the most amount of help. They're not going to have an all-star teammate next to him. Maybe they might have an all-star teammate, but maybe not an all-NBA teammate. Maybe just a bunch of guys who, they're good players, but they're not really going to be big needle movers as second and third options. Or even if they do have a couple good second or third options, rest of the team as bad depth. Can my player in that scenario, can they still win the championship? Who is the best at doing that? That is like probably like the first part of the list. Okay. I think the best player in the league, not only can I think he can win a championship, I think he could do it with less help than everyone else below him. So that's the most important thing. It's just to measure who I think can be the best player on a championship team with the least amount of help. After that is where it gets complicated. Because if I have 10 or 12 guys that I think could be the best player on a championship team, let's think about everyone else. Okay. So you can't be the best player on a championship team. That's fine. As I mentioned, very short list. I said 12. I think it's 12 at the most that can be the best player on a championship team. Can you be the second best player? If the first player is having an off night, can the second best player be the guy to step up and win? Or is the best player having a great night, but everyone else is playing bad? Can you be the guy to pick up their weight? How about this? If the best player has a weakness, say he's not the best defender, can you be the guy who can guard the other team's best player? Or say your best player isn't really a good jump shooter. Can you pick up that slack and shoot the ball a little well? Maybe your best player is like a defensive specialist. It's usually not the case. Usually the best players are offensive engines. But can you lead an offense in nights where they're not playing well? So that's what it goes by, because I think the best example that I always use is that Trae Young is one of the best floor raisers in the league. Maybe not one of the best, but I'd say one of the 20 best floor. Let's say one of the 20 best, maybe 25, maybe like best floor raisers in the league. He can lead teams that are pretty bad offenses to be like passable on offense. Like he's had some pretty bad offenses to make them pretty good offenses. But I'm not sure if I want Trae Young on my team in order to be the I don't want him. I don't necessarily know if he can be the guy to be like the second best player on a championship team because of his defensive deficiencies. So like put Trae Young and Jokic next together, they'll be awesome at offense, but both of their defenses would kill them. Well, like not kill them, but like it would limit the team's defense. Limit the team's ceiling for sure. So that's essentially my. And then of course we go deeper. If you can you be the second best player? Who are you better at being a second best player than everyone else? Can you be more pluggable? And then we go further down the line. So like the further we go down, so like Draymond Green's another good example. He'd be a disaster first option, even second option at this point in his career. He wouldn't be great as well. But a third option, hell yeah, he could be a great third option. He's a great third option, especially when you consider Steph and Jimmy are running the offense. Draymond, okay, that's fine. Let me just do everything on defense. He's awesome at that. So I'd rather have that than a guy like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a good third, like yeah, I guess a guy like Bradley Beal would be a good example. Like Bradley Beal, he was the third, he was a third option on the Suns, and it was fine. But yeah, that's actually a bad example because he wasn't really a good third option at all. But a good third option. I don't even know. Like yeah, like I guess I'll think of it more. But yeah, like Draymond Green is an awesome third option, and he would be a much better third option than a lot of the guys who would be better at leading a team, but not at being a complementary piece on a championship team. So, okay. So, anyway, so let's dive into what the list looks like because this is something that's pretty interesting to look at. I'm gonna show it from Twitter, I think, to start, just because I think that it's probably the most clear where you can look at all the players. Give me 1 second. So, yeah, so from Twitter, actually. Here we have RJ. So Ezra says 100 to 83 looks like RJ Barrett's, Stephon Castle, Walker Kessler, Peyton Pritchard, Nikhil Alexander Walker, PJ Washington, Devin Vassell, Jakob Pertl, Mitchell Robinson, Drew Holiday, Naz Reid, Andrew Wiggins, Zach Edey, Jonas Valanciunas, Bradley Beal, Jaden Ivey, Tobias Harris, Jonathan Kuminga, Norman Powell. So very, very interesting list, if you ask me. Just because, again, as I mentioned, yeah, it depends on what you prioritize in this situation here. Because a guy like Naz Reid is an awesome role player, but we don't know how good he'd be in certain situations as like where he'd have to be like better on offense. Drew Holiday, interesting player as well. Is he the 91st best player in the league? I personally don't think so. Is it sensible to think he's going to drop down to 91 this year? Maybe it's a little low, but I don't know. Good amount of people watching now, so yeah. If you guys in the chat want to, if you guys want to let me know what you think about 100 through, 100 through 82. RJ Barrett's 100. Not sure if I'd put him that high. Stephon Castle. I don't know. I'd put a Castle higher. I think Walker Kessler definitely higher. Payne Pritchard. I think Payne Pritchard's top 100 is probably accurate. Nikhil Alexander Walker maybe a little lower. I'd probably put. I don't know if I put him in the top 100. PJ Washington, Devin Vassell, probably a little higher. The 100 to 82 is a pretty tough thing to consider if I'm being honest. So I don't know what people think exactly about what people think. Like, I don't know what people think about this, about the first part of the list, but obviously Zach Edey is someone who's going to miss the first half of the season. I think that was only announced today. and Bradley be like and Tobias Harris being higher than Jay Navi. That flew over my head, but yeah, I don't think that Tobias is going to be better than Jay Navi this year at all. And even if you look at my formula to where like would Tobias, I don't think Tobias could be the third best player on the championship team. Like maybe the fourth. In that case, would he be better than Jay Navi? I don't think so, honestly, unless you consider Tobias is probably better on defense, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that part, and maybe I should just say no. That's really bad because, let's be honest, it's a pretty bad take to say that Ivy is worse than Tobias Harris, but I don't know. Let's scroll down from here. So next we have Kuminga at 80. Yeah, so as I said, Kuminga 83, Norm Powell 82, Andrew Nembhard 81, DeMar DeRozan 80, Onyeka Okongwu 79, Timothy Comer 78, Brandon Ingram 77, Brandon Miller 76, Jane McDaniels 75, Jabari Smith 74, Lively, I'm just going to live names, Lively 73, Zach LaVine, Kobe White, MPJ, Josh Hart, Tyler Hero, Cam Johnson, Denny Avdia, Aaron Naismith, Lou Dort, LaMelo Ball, Christian Brown, and Zion Williamson. This is where a lot of the controversy comes in because Andrew Nembhard is a very polarizing player, I feel like, at this point, because he's a playoff riser for sure. But I don't know how much of that is just like magic. I don't know how good of a player he actually is. Just because I feel like you need to be consistent in the regular season and then be great in the playoffs in order to be ranked relatively high. So that's kind of difficult to put, if you ask me. And then, yeah, kind of tough. Yeah, kind of tough to consider for sure. I don't know though. DeMar DeRozan at 80 is just way too low. Again, he's old at this point, so maybe you want to put him lower. That's fine. But he's one of the best scorers in the league still, and also one of the bigger playoff droppers. So I understand why you want to keep him lower. But I still think he's easily top 50 player in my opinion, if not just a little bit lower. Tumani Kumar is a very interesting one of the better defenders in the league for sure. Offense isn't really that great, but he's going to be a main reason why the Blazers are going to be overachieving this year. Yeah, I think the Blazers are going to be much better than people think, in my opinion. That's my take, especially because of how good they'll be on defense. After that, I think that Brandon Miller is going to be much better than 76. I think that Brandon Ingram is a little better than 77 as well. Derek Lively, I feel like, is much better than 73. Yeah, I feel like I'm saying much better for a lot of these. However, Josh Hart is not the 69th best player in the league. Come on. Obviously I can't say much because he was the main reason why they lost to the Celtics, why they beat the Celtics last year. But I don't know, man. Seems a little too high, in my opinion. Then we have Tyler Hero at 68. I'm a little lower on Hero than people think. Cam Johnson, interesting placement at 67. Might put him a little bit lower, but that being said, he's an awesome more player, so I'm not sure. Denny Avdia at 66. That feels a little low, if I'm being honest. Not saying that he deserves to be much higher. Let me zoom in on this more, just because I feel like I can't really see much of it. Okay, yeah. So Denny Avdia is 66. Yeah, that feels a little low. Again, I don't know what people's thought processes are there, but I know that Jalen Carter, one of the co-hosts of the show, hasn't been on in a couple of weeks, but he loves Denny Avdia. I thought he was going to be an All NBA player this year. So, not saying that's not going to happen, but I am saying that's not going to happen. Like, I would be shocked, to say the least. So I don't know what he's going to be, and I also don't know about Aaron Naismith as well. He's a great player and everything, but who knows? Then if we go down further, Lou Dort at 64, LaMelo Ball at 63. These are two very different players. Lou Dort is one of the best role players in the league. Maybe not one of the best role players, but definitely one of the best defenders in the league. I, for one, voted him to be defensive player of the year last. Not voted. I picked him to be my defensive player of the year last year because that was mainly just like an honor to the Thunder, though. And LaMelo Ball, an offensive engine in the league, but like one of the out of like the guys that are great offensive engines, he's low on the list. Like he's not like Is he top 10 offensive engine? Maybe. I'm going to say no. Actually, no, he's not. Maybe top 20. And obviously scores a lot of points, gets a lot of assists, gets a lot of rebounds. But issue is that he plays a lot of meatball, and he's also pretty bad at defense as well. So that's where it gets a little tougher for sure. Yeah. So yes. Oh yeah, and then Zion at 61. Oof. I'm a fan of Zion. When Zion's on the court, he is when he's playing, he's without a doubt a top 25 player. People will go as far to say top 15. That seems a little much, given that his availability issues. But if people are saying no, let's take out the per game basis. He plays awesome, always. So just you consider how efficient he is on offense. Like he has like Shaq level efficiency based on how he plays. So just kind of tough here if you ask me. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna just real quick. So like so that's my takeaways from 100 to like 60 something 160 something. I'm gonna have the other show co-host here, Ori B. We're gonna talk about the first part of this list as well, but we're gonna dive in to the bigger part. So Ori B, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Excellent. I am so glad I was able to make it. Thanks for holding down the fort as always. Shout out my man, All-American Hooper, Chris Driscoll. This guy is the reason why we can exist. Let's just say that much. So
appreciate that, my man. I covered the list a little bit. So yeah, I've covered that for probably about like 15 minutes at this point. But yeah, just because the first part of the show I wanted to because I talked about Fred VanVleet for a little bit, and then I also talked about our guy Jason Tatum. So I'm sure you saw a lot of the reports that came about Tatum, and also him just not even just the reports, him just going on every show imaginable. You know, he's on the Today Show yesterday. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that he did that stuff. So just going on tour, just explaining how great everything's going. So that made me feel good. I'm sure it made you feel good as well.
Absolutely. Made me feel good. And man, does our man look good as the face of the league, huh?
He sure does. Yeah, like people say like, oh, he's too boring. He's too. Like, I don't care how boring he is. It's like Tim Duncan, where it's this, like he's not as boring to play. I'm like, okay, well you're gonna be forced to watch him anyway, because if you're gonna watch basketball, he's gonna be playing late in the playoffs. So whether you like it or not, he's gonna be one of the faces of the league.
Exactly. So you might as well just get on the hype train, join the squad, become part of the Jason Tatum team here, and really just enjoy the ride, because this guy is an excellent basketball player first and foremost. He has a great mentality, I think, when it comes to the game. And then thirdly, our guy was good on TV. Like, I think he does have a great personality that just needs to be, maybe a little more captured, I suppose. But yeah, I really like seeing him all over the place and hearing the good news and stuff. So like, it's been exciting as a Celtics fan, and I'm sure once we get into it a little bit more, I'm like you've covered a little bit. I know you definitely went through probably Peyton Pritchard on the list. So
absolutely, yeah. I actually didn't dive into Peyton Pritchard that much, but yeah. Just before, just before like we go into the specifics of the list, I for one dove into my. I didn't show my list because I'm gonna wait and probably until once we get closer to the preseason for that. But I was just wondering, so like I just want to explain my criteria first. So like obviously it's pretty simple. So like it's if I'm building my team to win a championship, who do I want in my team? So I gather in, I decide okay, which players do I think could be the best player on a championship team. And then out of those guys, I think it's probably like in between 8 to 12 guys I think could be the best player on a championship team. And out of all those guys, who could do it with the least amount of help?
Yeah. I like that.
Yes, so that's and then when we dive deeper, so like once we decide out of those guys, like once we rank those 12 guys, then I decide who can be the second best player on a championship team. So basically my philosophy there is I'd rather have a guy I'd rather rank a guy higher who can make a good team great rather than a guy who can make a bad team good. So like a guy like Kyrie Irving is one of the best second options in the league. I'd rather rank him higher than a guy like he's not gonna be in the list because of his injuries. I'm just using him as an example. I'd rather have him than a guy than either Karl Anthony Towns or maybe like a Trae Young, because those guys might be better as first options, but they're and I feel like Cat's like a little like that's kind of like an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna still say it with him. They can raise the team's floor for sure. Like they're extremely talented on offense, but like the later you go in the playoffs, the more they're going to expose you on defense. So
I like the way
that's
you phrased that. I was literally just about to say, so you value floor raisers over, I mean, you value ceiling raisers over
yes,
floor raisers.
yeah. So like that's essentially my thought because like I said, like yeah, Trae Young is an awesome offensive player and he's made some he's led some pretty brutal offenses to be above average to very good. Even good to great. He's a great offensive player. Like he can turn good offenses into great. But with Karl Anthony Towns, with Trae Young, with James Harden at this point, with James Harden is a bad example just because like when he was in his prime, you put him in the top 5 just because like he was able to win a championship if he was more of a player like if he was more of a playoff riser, which that's another thing is I value playoff rising as well.
Absolutely.
So between that and the other thing I like he's like the one thing is I read the criteria out for on ESPN, but they never explain like what they value because if there's one thing that they it seems like the value is injury tax, just like discounting players who get injured a lot. So I'm sure we'll dive into that a little more when we get into the specifics. So I agree with most of their criteria, and I said in the beginning of the show that ESPN, I'm in the minority here. I feel like a lot of the lists that they do, I feel like it's not terrible,
Mm.
but the thing is that they always pick like 4 or 5 examples. They just either rank a guy way too low or rank the guy way too high. And it's just to get those clicks that people think the entire list is bad. But then you say like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, but just this one part. Okay, what are we doing here?
That's that. You nailed it right on the head. Exactly. Because overall, yeah, you look at this list, you look at most of the lists that do that, you're like, yeah, these things are things that I could get behind. This is something I understand. But there's those 1 or 2 polarizing figures that they'll put in places that they don't belong, and these people will end up in conversations that they don't belong,
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes kind of a trickle down effect. I believe.
Absolutely.
I think I call it the Russell Westbrook effect. Oh.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. And the last thing to mention is that they make it very clear in the beginning that this is a projective list for the 25-26 season. So though a guy, you know what, I'll start sharing my screen now just so we can get into it. And I had to zoom down in the beginning because it just goes like that's how it was, but it's pretty tough too. Give me one second.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay,
No worries.
yeah. So this is from Twitter. Like, like I don't know if I'd rather just do the. I'm gonna do it here just because like, I feel like on the ESPN one, only goes one at a time, so that's a little tougher. But yeah, RJ Barrett at 100, Stephon Castle 98, sorry 99, Walker Kessler, Payne Pritchard, Nikhil Alexander Walker, and PJ Washington. So yeah, they got our guy Payne Pritchard on. Well, yeah, how do you feel about that?
I honestly, I'm super stoked that he made the top 100 players, especially for a guy that works as hard as he does and, was unheralded coming in. I really like to see his evolution take place. This has been really fun to watch. I think being in the top 100 list and having a chance to showcase his talent this season, a lot of people are going to see him. He's going to become much more of a household name. And 97 seems probably right. I don't think he deserves to be much higher because at the end of the day, despite his motor, he is more of a one-sided guy right now. He does try on defense, which absolutely makes the difference, but he's just athletically not as tall or as strong as some of these other guys. So, yeah, 97. I'm really excited to see Peyton Pritchard in the top 100. Our boy is he's doing real good for himself.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, yeah. He definitely felt like it was more of an earned, like he earned the top 100 more than like whether or not he should be on the list. Like, 90, like you said, 97 feels right. I'm not sure if I could put him much higher. Maybe I'm pretty sure when I made my list, I'm pretty sure that I had him outside the top 100. I feel like that's partly because, as you mentioned, he's kind of a one-sided player. Like he was an awesome 6 man this year, won 6 man of the year. He contributed to the championship team in 2024. Likely going to be the starting point guard on the team this year. So like all those things, but the question is, because most of these guys on this list are going to be, if we, there's 30 teams in the league, so like most of them are going to be top 4, top 5 options, which Payne Pritchard has not been for most of his career. But this year he will be like he'll likely be the third or fourth option. I guess it'll be Jalen 1, Derek White 2. There are gonna be nights where Payne's gonna be the second. He's definitely gonna be second on certain nights, and maybe even first. But like for the entire season, I guess I'd probably have like I'll have Jalen 1, Derek White 2, and then I guess 3 would probably be either Payton or Simons. I guess.
Yeah, in my mind it's Peyton because I think that he's even though I'm really excited to see what Simons provides. A lot of people underestimate Simons because he was stuck in Portland, so I think he's going to get a chance to shine as well. But I really like the chance of Pritchard being the third option on most nights.
I 100% agree. So, so 97 Payton Pritchard. Yeah, well, there's a couple other.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, not that I typically shit on players, but there is a unique dichotomy within this list, just this 100 through 95. And I say that in the sense that look at Peyton Pritchard at 97. Look at RJ Barrett at 100. RJ Barrett at 100 has got to be quite a significant disappointment considering all the hype and everything that RJ Barrett was supposed to become and should necessarily become. I find it just quite intriguing that, Pritchard's 3 slots ahead of him and Barrett's barely clinging to a top 100 spot at this point of his career.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that Peyton was drafted the year after him. So, was it 21? Was it 20 when he drafted? Yeah, 2020 he was drafted, right?
Yeah, wasn't it? Because Pritchard's been.
Yeah, it was during COVID. It was 2021 was the first, or was 2022 the first year? Geez, like I'm losing track. But regardless, he's a year or two older than him. Maybe we're the same age because I'm pretty sure that Pritchard was like a junior or senior when he came out, so maybe they're about the same age. Maybe Pritchard might even be a year older, but and Pritchard was not even a lottery pick. Maybe he was like a late lottery. If I'm mistaken, I forgot which number he was exactly, but. Yeah, but like
they're not even close.
So. Not even close. Yeah. For like what they're supposed to be as prospects. Yeah, not even close. And like more people value Payton over RJ at this point. So interesting
RJ
to say the least.
RJ seems like one of those guys that's just kind of like lost in translation now, just kind of hanging out, and it's odd to see because as a fan of him coming into the league. I really, really saw, I'm a Duke guy. I really saw a lot of things in RJ Barrett that I thought would translate better. So, yeah, it's odd to me.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry. Let's go.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. Maybe you had something to say about that. So, all right, now we go deeper into the list. So, that was 95. So, 94. So, Devin Vassell, 94. Jakob Poeltl, Mitch Robinson, Drew Holiday, Naz Reid, Andrew Wiggins, Zach Edey, and Jonas Valanciunas. Or what do you take away about this part of the list?
Don't hate a lot of this. To me, Edey being ahead of Naz Reid seems strange. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think that Naz Reid has earned his spot as a dependable big that can shoot the threes, that can really provide a spark. Edey, I know, is younger. Edey's has, probably a much higher ceiling. But as players like in this year going in, that one surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, and the report came out to say that Edey's going to miss half the season. So, like, that's probably something they didn't consider. Because if he was like it's not like Edey's good enough to like justify. Okay, like, like this guy might miss half the season, but he's going to make up for it in the second half. Like, I believe in Edey. I think he's a good player, but him missing half the season, like he's not going to be good enough in the second half to make up for it. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And as I mentioned, this is a projective list, so it's something to think about. But Drew Holiday being ranked at 91 stands out to me for obvious reasons. One of the better perimeter defenders in the league. Like, even though last year Drew Holiday took a step back in every way possible last year, from his shooting, from his passing, he was still pretty good, but like his defense wasn't as good as what it used to be. So people were projecting, okay, he's 34 years old. He's going to be older right now. I'm pretty sure he's like 36 actually. So yeah, he's obviously going to take a step back, but that's a pretty damn big step back if you ask me.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I think a guy like Drew, though, will take this as chalkboard or material here, blackboard material. There we go, and turn this into something where he will end up having a much better season overall than a lot of people predict. because yeah, there's not a world where there's 90 players better than Drew Holiday yet.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah, and someone tweeted out like, "Yeah, this is far from reality just because of how much money he makes." But someone said like, "Oh, the Rockets should pick up the phone and call the Blazers about Drew Holiday." Like, and unfortunately, the money doesn't work because the Rockets are hard capped at the first apron, if I'm not mistaken. So they would they would be at a couple moves here and there that like they'd have to involve the Nets, I think, to like throw more salary at. But I don't know. Drew Holiday he's much better than 91st for sure, but. Is he going to regress a little more? Hopefully not. But that being said, he's also playing with the Blazers, who are going to, he'll be a good mentor, but they're going to prioritize playing the younger guys ahead of him. Unfortunately, I feel like,
And that's probably what's played into this prediction for sure, because that situation in Portland's an odd one. So definitely could either be a position where, yeah, his drop off maybe seems more palpable. So maybe this is just jumping the gun a little bit for us.
maybe a little bit, yeah. But
Yeah.
who knows though? Up next, I don't think there's anything else missing. Everything else seems reasonable. But yeah, you mentioned Reed should be higher. I agree. So Bradley Beal at 86, Jay Ivey 85, Tobias Harris, Jonathan Kuminga, Norm Powell, Andrew Nemhard, DeMar DeRozan, Yeko Ngannou, and Tumani Kamara. Thoughts?
DeRozan seems low.
Yep.
I understand once again, this is predictive, this is projections. There's got to be a palpable drop off for him as well coming up. I get that. But I feel like he hasn't earned a drop in the list yet. You know, the dude is still putting up 20 points a game. I get it. It's for the Kings. But I feel like you need to deserve a drop. And he does. I don't think he's done enough to deserve to be 80. That's too low for me.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he also hasn't played in the playoffs lately.
And that's
but like, yeah, and then when he does, he's one of the worst playoff droppers in the league. So, that being said, 79 guys ahead of him, that doesn't feel right, especially when I'm also high on DeRozan all time than most people, just because like I don't know if this still stands today, but as of before last offseason, he was both top 10 in scoring for total points in the 2010s and the 2020s. So that's yeah,
12, 12 straight 20-point seasons. 12 straight.
Yeah, just underrated longevity. Like, and I know people poo-poo on it because he's never delivered in the playoffs. But like, which of these guys have though? Like, that's the thing. Like, if you want to rank him lower, like for certain things, but like, why would you rank him lower than a lot of the guys who also haven't delivered in the playoffs?
It's funny, yeah. DeRozan. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be really ironic that when people look at the resumes of DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard, they're like polar opposites. DeRozan is going to have all the regular season numbers and all the counting stats. Kawhi has barely numbers that compare to Thaddeus Young in the regular season. But in the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard becomes a superhero, and DeMar DeRozan has that drop off. It's crazy how like yin and yang they'll be.
Mm-hmm. And the one that stood out to me actually the most, or not, I feel like there's a couple things that stand out to me, but like, does anyone actually think that Tobias Harris is going to be a better player for the Pistons this year than Jaden Ivey?
I feel like Pistons fans have got to be a little like, what? We've seen Ivy turn into something. Like Tobias Harris, like, how come they're not giving him the Drew Holiday treatment? Like Tobias Harris is getting older. Like, what's going on here?
I don't even think about that. Drew, Tobias being better than Drew. What? So, no, it's weird just because, the Celtics dealt with this. I think it was this wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago that Derek White wasn't ranked in the top 100 and Grant Williams was. So yeah, just bizarre. The things that they do to justify it, and so yeah.
Like we were talking about in the beginning, though, we've already found a couple of the polarizing. Like these guys aren't anywhere close.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then Jonathan Kuminga is obviously going to be a very interesting one to see what plays out for them, because like I'm assuming they're going to work something out before October 1st, but yeah, which I'm dreading that day because that's also going to be the day that Al Horford officially signs with the Warriors. So
I'm calling it now with Kuminga. Everybody, take out your books, take out your betting tools. Let's go. Jonathan Kuminga is going to end up a Sacramento King, and DeMar DeRozan is not going to be one at some point.
Wow.
That's my.
Before the season starts, or
I think it might happen maybe mid-season.
okay.
But I think Kuminga's going to be on the Kings, and I don't think DeRozan is going to like what direction he thinks the Kings are going. I don't think he does anyway. But
I don't think anyone does.
I think he's at a stage where he's winning is more important than anything.
Absolutely.
And I think he's in that Jimmy Butler stage where he needs to be playing for contenders. And
Absolutely.
so
Yep.
I think it's going to be Kuminga on that roster instead of DeRozan at some point.
100% agree. So further down. Okay, so up next we have Brandon Ingram 77, Brandon Miller 76, then Jaden McDaniels, Jabari Smith, Derek Lively, Zach LaVine, Kobe White, and Michael Porter Jr.
Well, I don't mean to be a stick in the mud, but what are we doing with Michael Porter at 70?
I don't know, man.
I don't want to hurt his feelings. Guy is got, I know, still a lot of potential. Great shooting stroke, can hit those threes. Playing for Brooklyn now in a position where he doesn't have Jokic passing him the ball anymore. 70 seems very high to me.
I agree. And he's just won he won the championship 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point with the Nuggets while being a key contributor. But at the end of the day, I feel like he was the fourth best. He was maybe not the fourth best, but like at the very least the fourth most important because the Aaron was clearly more important. But he's just someone that he limits your team's ceiling. I feel like unless you're in like the perfect situation, like great offensive player could raise the team's offensive rating for sure, but down the stretch in big games, the teams target him at the end of it, which is why like there's certain scenarios where he ends up being benched in certain games.
Exactly. And now with Brooklyn, his responsibility level just like went through the ceiling.
Mm.
So with that happening and his usage rate going up, are we really going to expect a significant uptick in what he can produce? I understand some of the counting stats might be higher, but I guarantee you that Brooklyn does not make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'd be very shocked if they were one of the playing teams because because last year I said the same thing last year and they were much better than people expected, but that was because I feel like a lot of their guys, they like a lot of guys, as Bill Simmons said, they just had like a lot of NBA players, like they just had like a lot of guys who are familiar with the league, like they know how things work, but they just weren't good enough. So like that's what happened. This year it's Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas with just a bunch of and Nick Claxton obviously which is like a bunch of like guys who just don't know what they're doing and just aren't good enough either.
It's too bad because the three of those guys are probably the guys that would be nice little ceiling raisers for some teams.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But stuck together, they are going to end up in an awful situation where they're going to be those probably good stats, bad team guys.
100% agree. So go down further. Okay, this is where the list gets very interesting because I feel like I have an opinion on every single one of these placements actually. So Josh Hart 69, Tyler Hero 68, Cam Johnson 67, Danny Avdia 66, Aaron Nesmith 65, Lou Dort 64, LaMelo Ball 63, Christian Brown 62. There's a lot here that to unpack for sure.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. This is interesting. Now, this is an interesting lot. Yeah, like, man. Wait, how much I would love to have Aaron Nesmith back. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
So what are your thoughts? What
yeah,
I gotta hear where you go first.
Yeah. So the one that stands out to me the most is I for one think that I'm probably the biggest Tyler Hero hater ever. I just not only did he kick our ass in 2020, but feels like his name has lived on since then, and people think that he's so awesome, which last year he had a career year, so he played awesome last year. But I fully stand on the fact that I would hate him on my team. Like he's like he gets injured all the time. He plays no defense. He's inefficient. Like I remember someone posted last year, he played great in the playing game, and then someone said, "Oh, playoff hero is back." No, playoff hero. I've just 14, 4, and 3 on weak efficiency. So I don't know why that's a thing, but But still 68 feels very low for that, regardless of that. So yeah, I have him at 53 personally, and that feels low. Like I feel like most people would want him higher because he made the All-Star game last year, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do agree. I did not expect to see his name come up as soon as it did.
Mhm.
I went through some of the basics on this, but I didn't get to go through every name, so I wanted to be surprised by what we had. And I'm genuinely surprised by Tyler Hero being this low. Yeah, I agree.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Josh Hart at 69. I feel like that's like I feel like that's a. I don't think it's a new. I feel like it's an A in New York thing, but B a. My team made it late in the playoffs last year, so we had to put him high somewhere, so, like somehow.
I agree. I agree. LaMelo Ball being in this mix seems interesting to me.
It does.
I would have him probably. I think he's a bit of a chucker. Sure, he shoots 13 threes a game on like 35%. We know that, but he's also in Charlotte in a tough situation where they depended on him a lot, and his team's growing around him. 63. That's no way. And Christian Braun being right ahead of him. I like Christian Braun a lot, but what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. Yes. So Lamelo, similar to the sense where I think that he's a better version of Hero. In the sense that he's like an awesome scorer, good playmaker, and even and like an elite rebounder too along that. So, of course, he's a guy you want your team. But again, he's an injury prone player, which is why he's lower on the list. But also isn't he also doesn't play great defense, which feels weird because he has like the frame to play good defense, but he just doesn't.
Yeah, hate those.
So that's why I have him a little bit lower, and he also has some off the court issues, which I'm sure also contributes to some of the things as well. So yeah, I have him personally at 50 on the list, which again seems lower than a lot of people. Like I know that a lot of people, like especially a lot of the guys on Players Choice, love him. They would probably have him in between like late 20s, so like early mid 30s, maybe even early 40s. But yeah, like and so like 50 seems a little low to me. But yeah, ESPN really seems to be emphasizing this injury tax, in my opinion.
That definitely's got to be the case because I find like I don't have a list that I've created in front of me, but top 50 at least sounds
Yeah.
right.
hmm
63 just brings up all sorts of like feelings of no, that can't be true. There cannot be 62 players in this league better than LaMelo Ball. I've watched this guy. Like
hmm
I understand the eye test doesn't mean everything, but it, come on, guys.
I 100% agree. Yeah. And then last one, Denny Abdia. I wish that Jalen was on here for this. But yeah, like I don't think you were there for the 1 week that he came up in some random conversation and Jalen said he's going to be an All NBA caliber player this year. That he's going to make like first or second team All NBA. So which Fluent and I were totally perplexed by that. So we're like, what the hell are you talking about? And like we started listing up players and then Jalen was like, oh yeah, he's better than Donovan Mitchell and he like much better than Donovan Mitchell. He's much better than Devin Booker. Well, like, what are you talking about? So yeah, yeah, and I feel bad for talking down on him when he's not here to defend his name, but like yeah, because I want to say, hey dude, like I know this isn't a perfectly reliable list, but like yeah, they agree with us more than they agree with you. So.
Well, and the thing is I definitely see a world in which he's going to have better numbers. A world in
100%.
which, like, I think he's one of those candidates that's strong for most improved player. Sure,
Yeah.
like something to that effect, absolutely. But when we get talking about All NBA caliber, I think we are definitely jumping the gun on that one.
Like if he made the All-Star game, I'd be pleasantly surprised. Like I feel like he might be like an injury replacement guy. I'm like, okay, cool. Like let's consider that. But
Exactly.
yeah, he took it a little too far. But like, and again, like I keep on looking at my list just for reference. I think I have him at 56. So yeah, 10 spots higher. So but like I know like a lot of people might say like, oh no, he's gonna be much better. But also some people might say he's gonna be worse. So who knows?
Right. I think he's definitely one of those guys that's going to be tough to predict because you look at him and you see the tools. So I understand where Jalen's coming from. I won't play completely ignorant, but at the same time, we've seen many of the guys with all the tools. That doesn't
Absolutely.
necessarily connect to All NBA.
Yeah, I agree. So further down, ooh.
Oh no!
So maybe this list is worse than I initially thought because I didn't dive too deep into it as well. But
So wait a second. Wait a second. Hold up. Hold up. So they say that Drew Holiday is gonna just drop off the face of the planet and be 91, but Paul George puts up a stinker of a season, and yet he's legitimately still in top 50 argument almost. Like, are you kidding me? What did Paul George do? What did Paul George do last year that makes you think that, this guy's clearly got to be much better? Like, I'm sorry, but Paul George's best days are behind him.
So I think this is where we'll have our first disagreement of the night because I fully expect Paul George to be much better this year than he was last year.
He 100% will be.
Yes,
but that's still not great for Paul George. He could average he could average 19 points a game, and that's still better than last season. He was 16.8 points per game on horrible efficiency from nearly everywhere. Like the dude phoned it in from the get-go.
Yeah, he stunk.
And there's no reason for him not to phone it in again.
Yeah, it's very true. So yeah, my thought process is that they had him playing center last year, which he didn't sign up for at all. So
that's
I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with him this year because it seems like Embiid is not going to be healthy. Like it feels like he's not going to be continued to be like it's not like he's going to get better health wise. So I don't know what to consider that. But yeah, I do think Paul George can be much better. I actually have him higher than 54. I think I have him in the 30s actually. So
top 30.
30s, yeah, like late 30s, I think. Like so.
Oh my goodness! Yes. We needed some excitement. We were agreeing too much. See?
No, it's just like he was like an all-star S caliber player in 2024. That it feels like that's like I know like a lot of the drop off comes quickly, but it seems like last year was too big of a drop off to like really make it sound like it was real. So
that's certainly fair. But how many people have we seen drop off that significantly and come back and be themselves?
Yeah, that's true.
Like that just doesn't happen in NBA history.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, so yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, so yeah, so like 37 is where I had him, but like it's kind of tough to determine what exactly.
I not to interrupt. Sorry,
no, you're good.
I definitely think, like you said, I think he's going to be better, but only because he couldn't have gotten much worse.
Exactly.
I love Paul George. I hate saying these things. I don't want to be this way, but based on what they say is how they're judging this list, that's too high for me. That's too high.
Yeah. Did they have we said Herb Jones' name yet? I don't know if we have. I don't think so. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm just going to scroll back up for a second because
definitely.
Yeah, I don't think they said that. They said his name yet. It doesn't look like it yet.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So
Herb Jones.
Okay, yeah. So no Herb Jones, but Trey Murphy is on the list somewhere. So who do we start at? We started at Zion. So yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, so Trey Murphy is at 58. The Pelicans are interesting because they think that Trey Murphy is gonna be better than Zion this year. Again, that's obviously injury sacks. But
Trey Murphy, man, I'm all aboard that hype train.
I love Trey Murphy. Yeah, 100%.
That dude, that's one of those classic like guys that could win the 3-point contest and the dunk contest if they were participated in both. You know.
True. Yeah. After that, I think that Hartenstein at 56 and then Lou Dort all the way down in like the 90s is a little much in my opinion. I think Hartenstein's a very good player, but I just don't know how good. Like I feel like a lot of that is just like being put in the right situation, which again, you shouldn't be punished for that. But I don't. 56 seems a little high.
I'd agree. Are we sure Isaiah Hartenstein is better than Miles Turner? I don't think he
is. Honestly, no. I
understand they have them close together, so that was a tough choice. But I feel like I definitely lean the other way between those two.
I agree. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I had Miles Turner at a little bit higher, 61. So yeah, so right around the same. 57, 60. Yeah, so a little bit lower. I didn't include Isaiah Hartenstein in my top 100. I guess that might have been an oversight there, but yeah, I don't even know where I put him. Yeah,
slight oversight though.
Yeah, slight. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like it's not. I feel like if he wasn't on this list, I feel like nobody would be like kicking and screaming like, "Oh, where's Hartenstein?"
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. And shout out Isaiah Hartenstein, had a hell of a
yeah, of
season,
course.
right? Hell of a season. But yeah, um,
Hmm.
that's not as egregious as maybe one might say.
Right.
Dyson
So
Daniels, though, good for him, huh?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's yeah. Shout out Fluent Jr. Yeah, he's always been according to Fluent, he's always been a big Daniels guy.
He knew it. He knew it.
Yeah, he did. And yeah, the last three guys: Caruso, Cooper Flag, and Draymond Green.
Okay,
Um,
here we go. See,
yes.
exactly. Okay, I'm. Everybody knows I'm a Cooper Flag guy. I live right down the road. I'm up here in Maine. I'm gonna be going to that Thunder Road maze that is shaped like him. Like I'm gonna be at that in the competition, going for a Cooper Flag ball. Like my wife was his substitute teacher. Like I know I'm way too
Oh
close,
wow.
but that being said, Draymond Green above Cooper Flag is egregious. Alex Caruso and Cooper Flag being close to each other is egregious. Paul George being in the same atmosphere as Cooper Flag is egregious. I'm sorry, but we are fully 100% underestimating Cooper Flag. I know putting him much higher, people would say the exact opposite and be like, we're overestimating Cooper Flag. I get it, but this to me is a clear underestimation. Not enough people watched Cooper Flag last year at ESPN.
Yeah, I didn't watch much Cooper Flag either. Like, yeah, like I've watched some film on him. Yeah, he looks awesome. But like, yeah, personally on my list, I never rank rookies. Just because like, yeah, like I need to see you play in the NBA in order for me to have an opinion on you. So yeah, like but like if I were to put him, yeah, I guess I'd put him like a little bit higher than this, probably in like the top 40s, maybe just because yeah, I feel like he's,
I,
yeah, I
I,
feel,
I
yeah,
that it's situational, like
yeah, it is for sure.
because they're gonna need to depend on him. And I've consumed a ton of Cooper Flag. This guy is unique. He is special. I've watched a lot of NBA, and the way that like he's got like this, I said it once before, and a lot of people either thought I was crazy or genius, but he's got this AK-47 Andre Kirilenko kind of Keith Van Horn mix where like he can create his own shot. He's really fundamental finisher, like can go off both legs, can do a lot of different things, but hustles on defense to the point that he's a legit game changer with his athleticism. His timing for blocks is just impeccable. Like he gets to things that you just don't think he should get to. Like he's just special talent. So I think, honestly, for him, this will be probably a great motivator.
I 100% agree with that. And yeah, like I know that some people think he's gonna be like an all-star first season. So like, which again, like I don't have enough info on him to say to like say whether that's an overreaction or not. But yeah, he'll be an interesting one for sure.
Mm.
Draymond Green is always an interesting placement for him because I know like I think it was the 2017 heading into the 2018 season. I think that he was number 10. Like he was very high. I feel like a lot of people think that he's pretty overrated on people's lists. Me
Yeah,
personally,
Draymond. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. So personally, I have him at number 53,
Oh,
which like people think is way too high. And because like they think like, okay, he averages 9 a game, he's not a good offensive player at all. His defense doesn't make up for it, but yes, his defense does make up for it. He's one of the he's still at this point in his career one of the 3 or 5 best defenders in the league, and maybe even depending on the day, I feel like he's one in certain nights. Like he's one of the best defensive anchors of all time, and still playing like he was in his prime on certain nights.
that's it. Like, honestly, I don't hate this Draymond position. I only hate it because it's above Cooper Flag.
Of
But
course, yeah.
if Cooper Flag was not on this list, I think I could see a world where somebody at ESPN was like, man, I don't know if he's top 50, but he's got to be the closest thing to it. And so 51 feels good to me. Like, that's not a bad ranking.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So now let me just stop sharing real quick because I'm gonna add on this other one. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so that's it for 11 through 50. So okay, sorry, not 11 through that was 51 through 100. Now we're gonna do 11 through 50. So let me just
Real cream of the crop now.
absolutely. And yeah, I think we're starting off with a bang if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
That one.
Speaking of, while we are bringing that up, I would like to let our crowd know that in celebration of the top 100, I'd like to celebrate the all-time top 100 today by wearing the jersey of Mr. Number One all time. This is that Chicago rookie 23. Since we all know Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the GOAT, right?
I wish there was a way for me to zoom into my own picture, but yeah, like I right next to Jason Tatum, that's him right there. And yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna get in my seat to throw it on, but yeah, obviously the GOAT there.
We needed some clicks, so I figured I might as well throw some clickbait. Everyone else,
Of
does it,
course,
right?
you got it, of course. So, yeah, now we got, and this is gonna be more confusing for me. I have to scroll up for this one because this was the opposite. This is from NBA Central, but this the other one was just a random guy. But yeah, our guy Porzingis at 50, Rudy Gobert at 49, Mikal Bridges 48, Joel Embiid 47, Jamal Murray 46. Any thoughts, Ori?
The immediate thought, and this is not to once again, I'm doing this strictly for analysis purposes, not to insult any of these NBA players, but Jamal Murray feels a little high. Personally, not that he feels too high, just a little. I feel like I would live in a world where I might rank Rudy Gobert and Porzingis above Jamal Murray. And maybe that's just me and certain things I value, but Jamal Murray feels a tad high.
I get that. And yeah, I get why people would put him lower. I know that Jason Timpf actually had him at 25, which is way too high, but I think that he's holding on to, and so am I, because I have him at 42 actually. We're both holding on to the notion that he is still he could still, like, on certain nights, be one of the best playoff risers in the league. And if that were the case, like if he plays like he did in 2023 for this year, you can buy your 2026 tattoos of like Denver Nuggets 2-time champion, second world champion or whatever. So yeah, Jamal Murray has slipped a little bit for sure, but I don't mind that placement. I have him a couple spots higher, but I also don't mind if you want to have him outside the top 50 as well.
I think maybe in my mind he's still top 50, but like I said, I just might put Porzingis and Gobert over him, and I don't know. I feel like they have a slightly greater impact on winning, despite Murray, just because they're a little bit more consistent. I find Murray just like, one of those guys that, like, when he's on, yeah, he looks like one of the best players in the league for sure. So this is like, he passes the eye test in so many ways, but
For sure.
it's that consistency stuff that tends to get in the way, I think, for him.
Yeah, I wish that Porzingis was consistent, like you said, because if he was, the Celtics would be hosting up that it would have won back to back because
That's the
yeah,
poor guy, man. He's playing on every injury.
yeah,
You know what? He got us one. That's
he helped us
as
get one.
many that's as many as Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce got us.
That's
So
true. Very
you
true.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, hey,
Very true.
he's a legend.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you're a little more nicer than like the Celtics group chat that I'm in. Yeah, they're a little more nicer about him. Yeah, they're very bitter about him. So, which I am too, just because, like, it's not bitterness, but I do have him a little bit lower, just because at the end of the day, yeah, he did suffer a couple of injuries, and they don't seem to be getting better. And hopefully, he'll be fully healthy by the beginning of next year. Like, not even just with his, like, is not just his body, but also like his whatever the hell he had. I don't even know if that was that mono or something else. But
Yeah, that was the greatest mystery of all time, and
yeah,
that's why I don't hold a grudge against them, because whatever was going on, to get to the point that they just couldn't even speak about it.
yeah,
Like it was a mystery. It's still a mystery. Like we don't even know what it was. So, like,
yeah.
something had to have been going on that was probably messing with his mind state. I don't think he was in the right mind state. So and like I said, over the last 25 years, he's given us as many titles as anybody. So, we got to
Sure.
hold him in
Yeah.
high esteem.
Yeah. And just to dive into it more, so I have Jamal Murray at 42, and I had DeMar DeRozan at 43, so obviously much higher than that 80 spots. And then I had Rudy Gobert at 44. So yeah, Gobert. Yeah, like I'm a big Rudy Gobert stan. He's actually one of the jerseys that I have hung up, but like back there. But Yeah, like there's no one happier on the face of the earth outside of Gobert and his mother. To see Rudy Gobert absolutely stomp on the Lakers, it's specifically that night. That was what, like, outside of like certain nights with the Celtics, that was one of my favorite nights all year long. With watching Gobert just put up like one of the most, was it 20, it was either 24 and 27 to 27 and 24. It was the funniest performance ever.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
And total validation for a guy that I feel like's been underestimated for most of his career. I mean, I don't know how many guys have affected the defensive end as great as he has,
absolutely.
especially in an era that just, we understand the three ball so dominant. So shout out Rudy Gobert, great player.
100%. So, let's see. We just scroll up. Some area was the last one. Okay. Yeah. So, let's scroll up a little more. Yeah. So Desmond Bain 39, Aaron Gordon 40, OG 41, Julius 42, Laurie 43, Jalen Johnson 44, Jared Allen 45. These are interesting, man.
Yeah, they are. I can see a lot of these going both directions.
For sure. OG's a better player than Julius Randle. I know that certain Knicks fans would like say like OG was better in the playoffs, but he also had a lesser role. So, or like better players for the Knicks, I should say, because Randle was awesome in the playoffs last year. I've Randle at 40. So like, I feel like once we get to this part of the list, like it's where like there's a shorter range. Like, I've Randle at 40. Desmond Bain and Aaron Gordon feel a little high for me though.
Yeah, I'm a big Desmond Bain guy.
Me too, honestly.
And I'm a big Aaron Gordon guy. And I still think, possibly, I don't know. It's tough. That becomes tough because those are other guys that just, when they're on and they're contributing the way that they contribute, they impact the game in so many ways, especially Gordon. I have more of a problem with Anunoby, to be honest. That's the guy that's the guy to me that sticks out the most. I like OG Anunoby. I think he's capable of a lot of great things, but I don't think he should be above Jarrett Allen on this particular portion. I would have everybody below him above him.
Yeah, especially Laurie Markkinen. I feel like I feel like it gets pretty underrated. I have him at 39. So I also know the people that would have Laurie lower because of how bad the Jazz have been. But OG is just a role player at the end of the day. Which, like, again, like, these are we're going to rank role players higher at the end of the day if we're doing based on championships. So that's where that's where the conversation gets a little tough, just because like OG would be a better third option than like a lot of the guys that would be better second options. And could this guy be like a second option on a championship team? Yes or no? But this third option would be better than the second option. So it gets tough. But like I feel like we put OG there at 41. That feels a little high to me.
Yeah, to me, he's definitely the most egregious name on this portion of the list. That does seems very high. I think
I agree.
Honestly, of everyone that we've said so far, I would have everybody above OG.
Probably, honestly.
I don't think there's a world where OG should be higher than Rudy Gobert.
I agree.
Or Jamal Murray. So I think OG is definitely too high.
Yeah.
This is New York bias again.
Yeah, of course.
The same people that voted for Carmelo Anthony that one year where LeBron didn't get the unanimous.
Exactly. MVP. Yeah. So, now we get interested. So Franz Wagner at 32, John Moran 33, Domantas Sabonis 34, De'Aaron Fox 35, Zubac 36, Amen Thompson 37, and Darius Garland 38.
Wait a second. Pause. Zubac is excellent. He had an incredible year. I would love to have him on my team, but above Amen Thompson and Darius Garland.
I agree.
Did you agree with that too?
No. Like I agree with your outrage. Is what I meant. Not outrage. I agree with your reaction. I should say.
Where was Zubac on your list?
Zubac was number 47.
Okay, that seems more appropriate. Yeah.
So yeah, Zubac was 47, and so I had Amin at which again I feel like I said this on my show yesterday. Is it like I don't know if it's Amin or Amin or
Yeah, I know. I
however
keep
people
going
say
back
it.
and forth. I
always
thought it was
I always
Amen
get confused.
Thompson, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where it gets interesting. Looks like we got someone else joining on in a second, but there's something else I wanted to say about the list. I forgot what's John Morant. I don't know where I would put John Morant on this list, honestly.
Yeah, he's so hard to predict, and strangely enough, I find it kind of odd that I don't think anybody would have predicted John Morant and Zion Williamson being so far apart
That's right.
at this stage of their career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, before I give my opinion on that, I'm going to add the other co-host to the panel, Sports Fluent.
So, I'm a human, assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a promise so that anything.
Hello.
How we doing?
What an entrance!
Yeah.
If I'm gonna come late, I'm gonna come with a bang.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So
what a horrible list.
Huh.
Everyone at ESPN should be fired.
It's funny because at the beginning of the show, I said like, well, I feel like the list isn't always as bad as people say. It's only like a couple names here and there. But Ori and I just went through 100 through 32. We're like, oh crap, no, there's like at least like 9 or 10 names. We're like, wait, how the hell is this guy too high? I'm like, what? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's about to get worse.
I don't know. I'm really not sure what their criteria is, to be honest. Like they say one thing, but the list clearly shows another.
Did you guys go through the criteria already?
I did personally, but they didn't explain what it was. They just like the only thing that they clarified was that this is a projected list for the 25-26 season, which I feel like is a cop out in a way, even though it's what I do. It's like almost a cop out just because you can say like, oh, this player was like Drew Holiday is at 91. Like he was obviously better than I don't know, like whoever they had like 85, but like oh no, we're projecting some type of regression. So. Which I'm fine with you doing that, but like if you can do the same thing for that, do the same thing for Paul George and Porzingis. Like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't tax Paul George one bit. Paul George is 54. What is Paul George doing at 54?
Yeah,
like,
Paul George, if you're projecting for next year, Paul George should be like 94.
So I disagreed with that just a little bit, just because like I think that like I think next year again, I think this year is going to be much better, just because like last year it was like the worst situation possible. Like the Sixers had no idea what they were doing,
and he was the worst player possible.
He was that's true as well, but like I feel like
playoff P turned to podcast P.
Yes, so
phoned it in, my guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. I get that, but like I think that like last year's regression was just so bad that it didn't feel real. So like that's why I think that this year he'll be like a little like he'll be better. Like I not even like I think he'll be much better, but I just don't know about how much. So yeah, I agree with everything you said about John Morant, Ori. Yeah, just like being that low. If like it's funny because like Zion was much lower than him, and Ja being that low. Like if you asked us like 5 years ago, we'd say that both of them would be like top 10, top 15 probably at this point in their careers. But yeah, both of them are very low. And no one's questioning why. Like I, for one, I think I had John Morant at 27 when I made my list, just because I'm projecting or 26, just because I think he will be a little better this year, but I don't know. And, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that he definitely should be better number wise, especially with Desmond Bane out of the picture. I really hope for a significant rise from him, but that situation isn't the greatest either there in Memphis. So I don't even know what his cap would be. So exactly. He's definitely a wild card for me.
Agreed. So let's scroll up real quick. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just to add a couple more names. Yeah, there's not much fit there, but yeah, Tyrese Maxey, 28, Trae Young, 29, Scotty Barnes, Jaren Jackson Jr., Franz Wagner.
I guarantee that pissed some people off, huh? Trae Young at 29.
I agree.
Again, I don't want to keep going back to the criteria, but Trae Young is a talented player who doesn't play winning basketball.
Oh, no, I agree. I think in my personal list, it's way different. But I'm just saying that people like are going to be upset that he's not top 25. like there's a big significant Trae Young
Yeah,
fan out there that
There is, yeah.
yeah,
I
that
think that's
that
a lot to do with
certainly
people judge too much on skill, on eye
eye
test,
test.
right? Like he looks like he should be a top 25 player because look at all the things he can do, or look at all the points and assists. What are you talking about? They'll always
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but that's I hate to say
At
it
the-
because I look at stats too, but that's not basketball.
And yeah, like yeah, so just yeah, like I have Trae Young 2 spots higher, 27, but it's tough for me just because again, like it's again, like what I care about, I'll rank the guys first, like I'll do like, okay, can you be the best player on championship team? Yes. Then can you be the second best player on championship team? If those answers are yes, so rank those guys to see who could be the best complementary piece. I don't know if Trae Young can be that guy. Like I think like if him and Giannis probably, I wouldn't say Jokic because both of them are bad defenders, but like maybe him and Giannis with like a bunch of good 3-and-D guys they would definitely be able to win. But that's like that sounds like just like the best situation possible for him.
This is not absolute. It's not absolute.
No,
but let me pick on Scotty Barnes for a second.
Mhm.
Can Scotty Barnes be a top player on a championship team? The answer
number
is no.
one or number two,
Number
number one.
Number one.
Number one, no.
What now?
That almost eliminates you from the top 30.
What makes you say that?
Because my next question, can he be the number 2 on a championship team? And the answer is also no.
No.
And that 100% eliminates. I think the first
Whoa,
one,
whoa.
and the second one takes him out of the top 30.
Pause. Scotty Barnes could not be the second best player on championship squad, you don't think?
No. Give me a team. Give me a team. And don't tell me the Boston Celtics or a team that's like loaded with 12 people. Give me a team that's not, I don't want to say an average NBA team.
So let's think about it.
Deep OKC or Boston Celtics team last year.
Give me the Raptors. Give me the Raptors right now.
Yeah. Okay. So who could you add to the Raptors? And he's only the second best player on that team now too. But replace Brendan Ingram with who? So that Scotty Barnes is the clear number 2.
Okay.
And makes them a championship contending team.
Let's say Giannis again. Yeah, like
give me a good number 1. So I put Jokic on that squad. What happens?
Okay. So if you put Jokic on that Raptors team, I think that they are a top 3 team in the East. I think they're clearly better.
But the best player in the world, and they're a top 3 in their conference. That's not. Sorry, guys, you're not selling me.
Well, top 3 in the conference is a contender, though. That is a championship contender.
So like
in the weak Eastern Conference.
Fluent though. I think that you're overestimating how many guys could be the number 2 on a championship team, though.
Am I?
I think so, honestly. Yeah. Just because.
Short list.
I have the number at 15. I don't. Do you think that's high?
So wait, like so like as number 1s or as number 2s?
As number 2s.
As number 2s. So I don't know. He's like I'm thinking that like only like 8 or 9 guys could be the number 1, maybe even lower than that. I don't know if you agree with that. Probably like maybe like 8s, and then and then like after that maybe just because like Jamal Murray's probably in my opinion probably the worst second option to win a championship in my opinion in the past like I don't know in the past like 20 years I guess.
So give me the current Bucks. Give me the current Bucks.
Jamal Murray's so difficult.
He is
because he's the worst number 2. You're absolutely right in a long time. But the year they won, he averaged 6 more points a game than he normally averages. He averaged more, like he did more. He played up to a level that is not. He overplayed. He was like Andrew Wiggins on the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, that's a better example. Yeah,
he overplayed his hand. And hey, you can and again, I'm not when I rank a guy, I'm not going to bet on that one exception where they play out of their mind. I'm going to be like, no, who is this player? Who is this player night in, night out, year in, year out?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
he would be a phenomenal number 3.
Yes.
He'd be the best number 3. I think he's bottom tier number 2.
That makes more sense. I agree. Yeah. Like I had Scotty at 32 in my list. And
that's I'm not, again, that see 32 people are going to think because I don't think top 30 it means 60. No,
exactly.
32, 33. Yeah, I'm okay with that. He's just out of the top 30. That's all.
Yes. So but like the one that fascinates me is both Yeah, so Jaren Jackson Jr. I for one have him in. I'm pretty sure I have him in my top 25. If I'm not mistaken, because of how great he is on defense. And he improved his offensive game for sure. But the issue is obviously if you're going to be that good of a defender, you need to grab a damn rebound once in a while, which
Oh
he
my
just doesn't
God,
do.
I'm glad you said it.
Who would you
Dude,
take?
like-
Who would you take as your number 2? Scotty Barnes, Jaren Jackson, Franz Wagner, or John Morant?
As my number 2.
Whoa. Well, my number 2, I would take John Morant probably because I think he has the highest ceiling.
I would say either Ja or Jaren Jackson probably is as well. And
yeah, but Trae Young wouldn't be there either. So Scotty still has a chance.
All right.
It's tough for sure.
I know you're. I'm super late. Do you want to keep sliding down a bit?
Oh yeah. I'm perfectly fine with moving up. Yeah, or slide down, or better or worse.
Yeah,
better. Yeah. So
he doesn't know our list is opposite at the moment.
I know what you mean.
Cool. So Twitter's annoying. But so yeah, I just want to move down a little bit. But
there we go.
Okay, yeah. So Siakam 22, James Harden 23, Chet Holmgren 24, Sengun 25, Derek White 26, Karl Anthony Towns 27, Tyrese Maxey 28.
Derek White at 26. Wow.
I'm just gonna say I absolutely love Derek White at 26. That's
because your blood is green.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with it wholeheartely. I love Derek White. I want him to be 26, but what are we doing?
They're just thinking that literally every single person in the Celtics is gone except for him and Brown, and he's going to be a great second option next to Brown. His numbers are going to look great, and the Celtics might overachieve with him. That's their
he's not. I'm not even a fan of Cat, but he's not better than Cat.
No, and neither am I, because he's like, this goes back to our criteria. Because and I kind of talked about this both beginning of the show and yesterday's show as well. But Karl Anthony Towns, he for as great as a floor raiser he is. And like he's made some pretty average teams very good. Like I for one thought the Knicks were going to take a big step back this year, and he prevented that from happening. But his defensive deficiencies just like brings the teams down, their ceiling down way too much.
Yep.
And D White, I mean, great guy, great person. I'm sure he got a lot of this just because of what he did in the playoffs, what he's capable of. But we all have to say that that's way too high.
What do you guys think about Chet? Or I guess both Chet and Şengün. How about that? Yeah, like is that too high or just right, too low?
I think Chet is too high, but again, they're projecting, so they're expecting Chet to be the guy that it's year 3, 4 now, so they're expecting Chet to take that step forward. Şengün, I think, is interesting depending on when they did the votes, because even though you're gonna be like they don't even play the same position, however. With the Van Vliet injury, they're going to be expecting a lot of playmaking and the ball to go through Şengün now on a championship. I don't know how to word this. A team that has championship expectations, right? I don't think so, but a lot of people do because of the KD trade. So a championship contending team or expectation team, they're expecting him to be this. The ball's going to go through him. The offense is going to go through him, and he's going to be, this playmaker, this baby Jokic, right? Like they're saying, he better be top 25 if you're going to put that, because that's the expectation that's going to be on. How does he respond to the bullseye being on his back and the expectations? Because there was no expectations up till now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so high on Şengün. Alperen Şengün is a dog. Like, I think that this is way too low. I would have had him for sure top 20.
Way too low?
I think Şengün should be higher. I mean, like, sorry, the other way.
Higher, like what, top 15?
I think he should be top 20.
Ooh. Wow.
Sorry.
I disagree.
I think Şengün should be, because if we're doing this off projections, I think Şengün's going to be a top 20 player. Yeah. I would.
If they expect to go to the championship, he'll have to be.
I think if you're the second best player on the on a championship contending team, and like you said, the increase in usage, I think, is only going to benefit him because he is a great passer. This is gonna be a year to showcase himself.
Unless he flops under the pressure.
He's a dog. He's a dog, man.
I don't think he will either, but
you got to watch that. That guy's got some. He's got some heart in him. I like him a lot.
So with my predictions, I actually had Chet at 21. So again, seems very high. I had Şengün in my 30s, but Ori, you might very well just swayed me just because, like I for one thought he got very overrated last year just because like based on team success, like I feel like people just looked at, oh look how great the Rockets are, and Şengün is the best player on that team. I feel like that got a little overblown, but yeah, like I think he has all the potential in the world for sure.
I have to know, Chris, right away. Where's Harden on your list?
James Harden is number 30 on my list.
Okay, that sounds better. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so, I think they're overestimating. Either overestimating how long he can stay at this level, or underestimating that there's going to be a drop. Yes. And I think there's a lot going on with the Clippers this year. So he's going to have to be their one consistent. So with James Harden, he honestly could be 35, and he could play 15. Like he's another one that it's going to be so hard when you're projecting, because he has top 15 potential, even at his age, but he also could be 35.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sure. So let's see. Okay, this is more efficient, or it's not actually. The posting is annoying me, but so wait, who's the last person that we missed? Siakam.
Siakam was just
okay. There we go. So Paolo, Jimmy, Jalen, Kawhi, Bam, and Siakam. So
I think Siakam probably should be top 20, but okay, 22, no big deal.
Yes. Siakam's interesting. Yeah.
Put it in your books right now. For the first time ever, there's a list that's out that Jaylen Brown is higher than Kawhi Leonard. And secondly, Jaylen Brown should be higher. My dude is having 94 Scottie Pippen vibes, MVP caliber season. Let's go. Put it in the books quick.
Now, okay, if you weren't a Celtics homer, would you say that still? Be honest.
I think, if I wasn't a Celtics homer, I wouldn't have consumed as much Jaylen Brown, so maybe not. But based on how much I watch the guy, and how much of a usage rate increase there should be, I genuinely am not being like, this is not meant to be hyperbole. I think there's a world where this dude's all NBA first team.
Okay. And you know what? You might not be that ridiculous to say that, because there is a world where they might believe they are contenders in the East, and Jaylen Brown's clearly going to be their number one guy, and he's going to get the majority of the shots and the opportunity to be that guy. So,
and he's 28, entering his peak years. I mean, still.
Yeah. Go Flint.
No, I was just going to say, and you should probably just eliminate Kawhi Leonard completely.
I don't know.
They didn't injury tax him at all.
I don't know. No. Listen, they're not going to do what I said. I don't know if you guys watched Fluent and Chill on Tuesday. I think he should be banned for life, and Steve Ballmer should have to sell the team for what the Clippers.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I think that's what you're thinking. I think at minimum he should be suspended for this season, and that means he's got no rating. But that's probably the conversation that we can have for another time.
Being 100% honest, though, if you suspend Kawhi Leonard for a season, you just load managing again. He'd be fine next year.
No matter how much you load manages, he finds a way to get hurt.
In my, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again, but I'll just quickly say I'm so harsh. My punishment was Kawhi Leonard's contract is null and void. He has to pay back the money. The money goes into a fund for retired NBA players who are struggling, like Delonte West and stuff. Steve Ballmer, and he's banned for life from playing in the NBA. If you're going to ban him for betting, then you ban him for cheating and trying to circumvent the CBA. Steve Ballmer has to sell the team, and the max money he can get for it is what he bought it for. The rest of the money goes to the NBA to distribute among the other teams. And then if anyone tries to do that shit again, here, look at what we did to these two guys. I'm so firm on throw the book at them so hard. Their grandchildren's grandchildren have headaches from it, that no one ever thinks to do this again. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. But that's how strongly I feel about what they did. And I know other teams do it. And I know other players have. But we caught them. We caught them. It's so much worse than what they did with Joe Smith that it needs to be so much worse, the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that sentiment 100%. I think you're 100% accurate that that's what has to happen or should happen in a perfect
Yeah,
world. But
yeah.
there's no chance.
Yeah.
No chance. I think Kawhi Leonard ends up playing next season, and I think that's egregious.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, yeah,
probably signing with another company to plant some more
Yeah.
trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So Jimmy Butler just seems way too high at 18. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is the playoff Jimmy bit or if it's the him resurrecting the Warriors. So like maybe it's those two things that are keeping him relevant. But yeah, that seems way too high for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I love me some Jimmy, but I think you're right. I think he might be, as a regular season player, might be out of the top 20.
I agree. I also think the Paulo Ranquera is very overrated. I used to be big fan of him, but I feel like he's gotten overrated in my opinion.
No.
What are we doing right now? Are we sure that those two guys are ahead of Jaylen Brown? Like now, how far away from the top?
No. Paulo's top 15.
Do you really?
This year, yeah, because we're projecting.
Okay, that's fair. This year,
the Orlando Magic are going to be a top 3 seed in the East, and it's going to be because of Paulo and Franz. And I think he's going to play like a top 15 player this season. Again, we're projecting.
Yes.
And then of course, here's why. Because what do great Orlando Magic players do? They play great, they become top 10 players, and then they go to the LA Lakers. Perfect.
Luka and Paulo, that'd be fun.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's a disaster. Okay, so
please don't speak that into fruition.
I wish it was a center, but I'll take him.
Oh, okay. So, geez, Twitter is very annoying with this. So, okay. So now, 11 through 16, J-Dub, Cade, Mobley, Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker.
Well, wait. Are we allowed to put Evan Mobley above Donovan Mitchell yet?
I guess we are, but
Mobley over Anthony Davis.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. But I just immediately that came to me because they're on the same team, I guess. But
I wouldn't. But
absolutely right.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally, but I also don't hate the optimism for Evan Mobley. I love me some Evan Mobley.
Well, sure, but top 15 optimism.
Is Evan Mobley the best player on the championship contending Cavs?
No,
maybe.
He's the highest ceiling, but he's not the best player.
Because Anthony Davis is, no question, the best player on a championship contending Mavs team.
I don't know if they're championship contending, but
what?
If Kyrie's not playing, then no, they're not. Absolutely not. But
have you not seen Kyrie? He looks great.
He does look great.
Did you not see him today? He looks fantastic.
He was also left off this list altogether, so I feel like they know something that we don't.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Trust me, if you guys got the Kyrie that I saw today working out, you guys would have wanted to keep him.
I mean, I did want to keep him, but
never. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Just
so top 10 comes out tomorrow. So
Mitchell, though, I think you bump Anthony Davis to 13. Move Mitchell to 14 and drop Mobley to 15.
Yeah, so my 11 through I agree with most of that. So so I have AD in my top 10. So at number 10 exactly, and then Kawhi at 11. So that's where I'm a couple spots up. I have D Mitch at 12. Brunson at 13. So Brunson, he's gonna be top 10. He's gonna be in the top 10. Devin Booker 14. So again, 2 spots below, and then after that, Mobley, Cade. Mobley and Cade are 15, 16.
Wait. Okay.
Do we need to talk about J-Dub at 11? Is anyone deserves to be there?
Do we need to entertain that conversation?
Right now, from All American Hooper, where did you have Jaylen Brown ranked? Did I miss it earlier? Or
18.
Did you not want to say?
18.
You said 18.
Yeah.
18. So wait a second. So you're going to tell me there's not a world where he could beat out Booker, Mitchell, like Anthony Davis so
there
far?
There is a world, but I don't think it's going to happen.
First guy, and Jalen Williams? Like, come on, man.
I have J-Dub at 20.
That's what I'm saying. Like my Jaylen Brown prediction is looking like clearer and clearer as
I agree. Yeah.
Listen. I don't hate your Jaylen Brown 94 Pippen. Like, I don't hate that at all. In fact, even though I want the Celtics to win like one game, I wouldn't. As much as I'd hate it, I'd love to see him play that well.
Here's open.
Yeah.
All right. So this
So-
is so J-Dub is. Oh, I forgot. This is all they have out, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah. I wanted to rush to the through the top to the top of the list because I knew that time permitting, and I didn't want to because we the next thing we're going to do. Do we know when the top 10 comes out?
Tomorrow.
Wow. Yep.
Like I feel like we should do a follow-up show earlier than next Wednesday to talk
We can do
about
that,
the
yeah.
top 10 list.
Well,
Maybe
well, yeah,
maybe
so
we'll maybe we'll hijack your all American hoop show.
So that's technically tomorrow night, but like I also I back to school night tomorrow night, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't know if I'll be able to put on a show. Maybe I will, but
If you do, tomorrow night actually works for me too.
Okay, yeah, I'll shoot you guys a text if you're. I know that Tony coaches on Thursdays, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
mhm.
fair enough.
Got to coach the youth.
that's like going by the way.
fair.
Yeah.
Look at that on TikTok. Hey,
only-
TikTok in real life.
Only 2 practices in.
Okay. Oh, 2 practices in. Nice.
So we're not so nothing, but I do like the team I put together. Like I basically took a team over last year that was a little bit in disarray. And I took the bottom 4 players and I replaced them with 4 players that are probably in the top 4, 5 or 6. So I took the bottom 4 out of the 12-man roster and brought in 4 guys that are in the top 3 that are in the top 5 for sure.
Nice.
And so the team got significantly better. So we're gonna have some fun this year. It's so much fun. Like I'm sitting there sometimes at nights. Like I feel like I know that it's because when there's no pressure, like an NBA coach, I'm like drawing up plays and I'm like doing up lineups. I'm like, okay, who's gonna go with who and who does what well and how we're gonna. I love that stuff, and it makes me watch more basketball because I'm like, what can I steal from these other teams and stuff. So.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's something I'm hoping to do when my kids get a little older.
Do it. You don't have to do it now.
Well, yeah,
You don't
that's
have to
true.
coach. It doesn't have to be your kids.
Yeah, fair enough. Just
In
around
fact,
here,
if
usually that's the case.
I'm just gonna say, if your kid's not playing, it's actually easier because there's never like a conflict or is he playing his kid too much or is he too hard on his kid? Like I'm on the opposite. I don't favor my kid. Like Fluent Junior probably gets 3 to 5 minutes less per game because I'm his dad and I don't want anyone to ever think I'm giving him extra minutes.
Yeah.
He also plays up, right? With old, like the team he plays is older. So they're also now at this age, they're he's 11, they're 13, so they're getting bigger and stronger. Hasn't hit that thing yet, so it's like I let him get bumped and bruised a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, like why?" And I was like, "No, take the hit. I'm not going to bail you out with fouls. Let them toughen you up a little." So
you forget I live in the boonies. See, around here, it's dads. Like I grew up with like every phase of like my basketball career. Sadly, up until AAU, it was someone's. Yeah.
I never had that. My parents didn't even watch me play ever, football or basketball ever, not once.
Wow. That's
working 2 jobs.
That's true.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I guess there are a million ways to spin that. So
yeah. It's probably better.
So my favorite memory, like with basketball, like childhood was like 2nd, 3rd grade. I was awful. Like I was always like the last one to make the basket in the season. So and my dad went to every other basketball game because he ran Saturday detention, Saturday morning detention. So that's why he was only able to make half my games. He had Saturday detention one morning, and then he actually ends up showing up to that late, so we can go to my last game, and I end up scoring my first basket ever. So that was
nice.
Yeah, very very cool. Yeah,
that is awesome.
So 1, you're a family of teachers, and 2, Dad had the breakfast club on Saturday mornings, which is a definite old man reference. All right, so we'll figure out a time. We'll figure out a time to come back and do the top 10.
We'll figure that out.
Jump in every once in a while. I think you guys hit a lot of the good points on this list. I don't know that anybody likes this list.
Yeah. Honestly,
I want you to make a prediction. And remember, the E in ESPN stands for entertainment. Is this the year they have LeBron at 1?
Zero shot in hell.
They can't. They couldn't.
If if it's not going to be Jokic, it's gonna be Wemby. It's not even going to be honest. It's going to be Jokic or Wemby.
Honestly, I was thinking it's going to be Luka.
Ooh, okay.
I thought my money was after like Luka went through that Men's Health and was going on like the talking tours and everything, like being in LA. Like I think
Luka.
I think Luka for a projection. I could see it.
Hey, LeBron, year 23. This is his swan song.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, he's already top 10, right? He's already top 10.
Well, he's obviously top 10.
Exactly.
Or
so,
is he not at all?
Yeah, exactly. Which would make a lot of people happy, I'm sure. But clearly he's already top 10. So like, I mean, he's already proven that he's doing incredible things with just that. Just make him 10.
Yeah. And think of the expectations, because you know who's not on the list. So LeBron and Luka are both top 10 players.
Yep. Right.
Is there going to be another team that has 2 top 10 players?
There is not.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about those expectations?
As a Laker fan, you mean?
Yeah.
Do it 100%. Put the pressure on. Absolutely. Just think about it. When Luka's on a team after that year where Dallas went to the final against Boston, is it not the expectation that Luka's good enough to carry a team to the NBA final?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No one would give him a free pass. So why would you give him a free pass in LA with LeBron?
That's it. I just wasn't sure if you saw what the Mavs saw when it came to Luka, and saw maybe cap
a little bit. I saw it a little bit, but I also know, like, I've seen too many good NBA players that didn't look the part. Right? You guys had one in Boston for a real long time, and everyone was like, too slow, too unathletic, blah blah blah. Really? Because that dude was a dog. That dude did, like, who's the best player in the world? Slow-footed, big, white guy. It's not about how you look. I've seen too many guys that don't look like they should be the guy. So I didn't buy into it. Yeah, and here's the thing. And so I didn't buy into it. And then when I saw what he looked like this summer, I'm like, oh, we good. Yeah. He looks great. If him and Zion, those are my 2 guys. If him and Zion can look like that all season, stay healthy all season, and be in shape, and those 2 guys are going to run this league.
Yep.
I really hope so for Zion's sake.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like he's just never gotten a fair shake just with the injury bug the way it's been, because when he plays, like, dude is a transcendent talent still.
All right.
Absolutely. Cool. All right.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, I'm TBD tomorrow nights for All American Hoops, but we'll, at the very least, we'll be back next week. I'll probably do another show in between, because as I mentioned, yesterday was episode 96. We're trying to get episode 100 squeezed in right before the season starts. So
let me shout out why I'm late. Shout out to the AKJs, not the Toronto Blue Jays. The AKJs, that's my son's AA team that he made this year, who won, I want to say it was like 17-5 tonight.
Oh,
that's
nice.
Good job, boys.
Good for them.
Good job, boys.
Awesome.
I just want to say, All American Hooper, Chris, like, tomorrow night, I saw you went solo last night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you need someone, I'm available tomorrow night. So
for sure, yeah. A couple of things to so I'll definitely be in touch.
If you end up doing it or not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll definitely let you know. But all right, this has been another episode of NBA Max. Until then, keep grinding and stay open. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, Canada. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.